Thanks, Caitlin. After years of experimenting in the minor leagues, it was announced Tuesday that the automated ball strike challenge system would be becoming a full-time staple in the major leagues next season. The system utilizes a high-tech camera to determine if a pitch hits the strike zone. Teams will receive 2 challenges per game and will retain the challenges each time they are correct. The pitcher, catcher, and hitter are the only players on the field able to challenge the call and will have to do so immediately after the pitch. This isn't the first time the MLB has had the ABS system, as they test ran it in both spring training and the All-Star game this past year. March Madness is full of icons, and though it's only September, there's breaking news in the college basketball scene. Wednesday morning, Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt retired from her public duties at the age of 106. You may remember Sister Jean from the Loyola Chicago Ramblers' Cinderella run in the 2018 men's basketball tournament, in which the Ramblers made it all the way to the Final Four as an 11 seed. She joined the Loyola Chicago community in 1991, becoming the chaplain for the men's team 3 years later. Loyola Chicago president Mark Reed said, quote, "She will always be an integral part of our community." After beginning the season 0-3, the New York Giants announced that they'd be promoting rookie quarterback Jackson Dart to starter ahead of their matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. Dart was drafted 25th overall in this year's draft and was expected to get starting reps at some point this season, though it hadn't been clear when that would be. Head coach Brian Daboll took credit for the promotion of the Ole Miss product, saying, quote, "I think it's the best move for our football team, and that's why I'm doing it." This move comes on the heels of the Giants' loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, in which previous starter Russell Wilson was only able to produce 160 passing yards. Marywood's women's soccer and volleyball continue to battle it out for best fall sports team on campus as both continue their torrid hot starts. We'll start with volleyball, as the Pacers entered Wednesday on a 4-game win streak hosting SUNY Oneonta. Despite entering the night 11-1, this was Marywood's toughest test to date. The Red Dragons and Pacers alternated wins in each of the first 4 sets before the Pacers would clinch the final set on a kill from freshman Carolina Samaniego to clinch their 12th win of the year. Marywood can continue the hot streak Saturday as they travel to face SUNY Delhi and Elmira College. As for women's soccer, apart from a tough loss to Lancaster Bible College, the Pacers have been spotless this season, and this remained the case on Wednesday as Cairn University made the trip to Scranton. Pacers leading goal scorer Carly Walters opened the scoring on a 22nd-minute penalty kick. Just under 10 minutes later, freshman Olivia Aberchinski netted her first collegiate goal to double the advantage. Yana Mazzella added a 3rd goal for good measures in the second half to advance the Pacers' win streak to 5. Merritt hosts Bryn Mawr College tomorrow morning before making the trip to Wilkes University with conference play just around the corner. With the latest in sports, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. TV Marywood News will return after these messages. Thanks, Katie. The winter sports season is over as both Marywood basketball teams were knocked off by the top seeds in the AAC semifinals. The men's and women's teams both concluded the regular season as the 5th and final seed in conference, forcing both to face Centenary University in the opening round. After both succeeded, they headed their separate ways, with the women's team traveling to Immaculata and the men's squad going to Newman. Starting off with the women, after leading in the first quarter, the Pacers would relinquish the advantage just before halftime, followed by Immaculata outscoring Marywood 24-9 in the third quarter, finishing off the Pacers 69-48. As for the men's team, after picking up their second playoff win in program history, the Knights' offense was too powerful, converting nearly 60% of their attempts, ending Marywood's season 89-69. With their season finally kicking off, Marywood walloped the Rosemont College Ravens 15-1 and 8-5. The key bat for the Pacers was Tristan Gachalian, who whacked home runs in both games, driving in 6 runs, scoring 5 of his own, and going 5 for 7 across the doubleheader sweep. His efforts landed him the honor of Atlantic East Conference Player of the Week for the first time in his career. Gachalian and the Pacers have one more game in the Northeast before their spring trip to Florida as they travel to Penn State Brandywine on Tuesday. After a heartbreaking end to their 2024 season, in which inclement weather cost Marywood a NCAA tournament opportunity, the Pacers softball team is getting ready to kick off the new year, set to start with their crosstown foes, the University of Scranton Royals. Though the new year is in the sightline, head coach John Butash isn't forgetting the conclusion of last season.
Went to Sunday, and then with the unplayable conditions, we were not able to finish the tournament, and because they were a higher seed, they got to go to the NCAA. So we kind of have unfinished business right now. We're hoping that we can get over the hump this year.
Both Marywood lacrosse team seasons are in the early stages. Following a season-opening rout at the hands of Drew University, one which saw senior John Scabello score his 100th goal. The Pacers were able to notch their first victory, in large part to 7 unanswered goals across the second and third quarters, winning 11-6. As for the women's team, the early season struggles from a year ago have rolled over to 2025, as both Lycoming College's and Lebanon Valley's College's offenses were too much for the Marywood defense, as the Pacers would drop both games 16-13 and 20-10. Both teams continue the non-conference portion of their schedules, with the women's team traveling to King's College on Wednesday and the men's team traveling to Keokuk University tomorrow afternoon. As for the professional ranks, it's combine time in the NFL, as the top prospects in the upcoming draft traveled to Indianapolis to test their speed, strength, and skills in front of all 32 teams' executives. Yesterday saw defensive linemen and linebackers put their talent on display, with today showcasing tight ends and defensive backs. Set for tomorrow are quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers, before finishing off with offensive linemen Sunday afternoon. Change is coming to baseball, though not in the way you may think. Though the MLB is always testing ways to improve the game, including implementing the automated ball strike system in spring training, the biggest change is coming from the reigning American League champion New York Yankees, who will no longer enforce their facial hair policy. The rule dates back to the 1970s, which restricted players from having any facial hair except mustaches. Though members of the organization are allowed to grow beards, players are still required to keep it well maintained, with general manager Brian Cashman saying, quote, "We are not trying to look like Duck Dynasty." With the latest in sports, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. TVM News will return after these messages. Thanks, Katie. Starting on the hardwood, both Marywood basketball teams clinched Atlantic East Conference playoff spots. While the women's team was clinched since their win versus Gwynedd Mercy University, the men's squad entered Wednesday vying for the last spot in a win-and-in situation as they hosted Immaculata University. The last time the Mighty Macs made the trip north, Tim Schulteis soured a Trevor Seitz game-tying three, sealing the victory from Marywood. Entering the matchup, Seitz trained an insane triple to knock off Marymount University on senior day. The momentum from the monumental three carried over as the Pacers knocked off Immaculata. Marywood is set to face Centenary University on Monday, but are waiting to see if they have to make the trip to Hackettstown or host one final game this season. Speaking of hosting games, Marywood women's lacrosse hosted its home opener Wednesday afternoon as the Cougars of Misericordia traveled north. The devastating junior duo of Caitlin Smith and Avery Meehan feasted on the Misericordia defense, combining for 7 goals, including these back-to-back scores in the fourth quarter to clinch the victory. The countdown for baseball season is nearly over as the Pacers stampede south to take on the Rosemont College Ravens in their season opener tomorrow. After a program-tying 22-win season, head coach Jason Thiel has high hopes for his squad.
Obviously, you want to win every game. And a lot of times those non-conference games during the week really get your guys ready, see live pitching, pitchers get ready to lead up to those 3 conference games. Last couple of years we've lost. We haven't sort of closed games out. We've lost 4 or 5 conference games last year by a run. Some of them late, some of them we lost early, didn't get guys in early when we should have. And those losses add up late for you when it comes to pushing for the playoffs. So I think this year we really put that emphasis on every game matters. Don't give games away.
Debut year of the Four Nations, fans across numerous countries roared for the alternative to the NHL's All-Star Weekend. The United States, Canada, Sweden, and Finland sent the best of their natives to participate in the mini-tournament, previewing the potential of the Winter Olympics set for 2026. After battling through the group stage, Canada and the United States faced off in the championship. When these two met previously, the United States bullied Canada, earning a 3-1 victory. In the early going, Canada came out firing, with Nathan McKinnon drilling the first goal of the game just under 5 minutes in. Fortunately for the United States, Brady Tkachuk would answer, knotting the game at 1 apiece. 7.5 minutes into the second period, Jake Sanderson grabbed the lead for the U.S. Sam Bennett would tie it back up later in the period, and after no goals in the third, overtime was needed for the tournament's finale. Despite the United States having numerous scoring chances, Connor McDavid would ice the game, netting the game winner as Canada would take the inaugural Four Nations tournament 3-2. After a 16-year hiatus, arena football was anticipated to return to Northeast PA, with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Mavericks set to join Arena Football 1. Unfortunately, it was announced that the team would withdraw from the league just weeks before their season opener against the Corpus Christi Tritons. There is no report on what is in the future for the franchise. With the latest in sports, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. TVM News will return after these messages. It was a rough week for our Friday Night Rivals top 10 teams after all but one lost in the state playoffs. Mifflinburg ends the season number 10 after not being ranked in our preseason poll. Troy ends up number 9. The defending state champs finished the season 11-2. Number 8 is Lakeland. The Chiefs had only 4 wins in the last 2 seasons, also ending up 11-2. Scranton Prep ends the season number 7. The Cavaliers lose to Northwestern Lehigh for the 3rd straight season. Prep couldn't match the size and speed of the Tigers. The Cavs had the game tied at 7, but then gave up 28 straight points. Will McPartland leads the way running and scoring for 2 scores. Prep started the season 0-3 and finishes in the state quarterfinals 8-6. Schuylkill Haven is number 6. The Canes went 12 weeks as our number 1 team, but lost in the District 11 AA final. Number 5 is Williams Valley. 1 week after a comeback win in the District 11 AA final, the Vikings fall to Lansdale Catholic 33-7 in their first ever appearance in the state semifinals. Lackawanna Trail is number 4. The Lions started the season as the number 3 team, but only dropped after losing to Berwick. Trail and Belmont Charter went back and forth Friday, but 3 turnovers cost the Lions. Isaac Ryan couldn't overcome an injured hamstring and was held to 100 yards and 3 scores. The senior finishes with 4,969 yards and 82 touchdowns on the ground in his career. Number 3 is North Pocono. The Trojans lost to Cardinal O'Hara and finished the season a program best 13-1. North Pocono cut the lead to 7-6 in the first half, but wasn't able to stop O'Hara the rest of the game. The Trojans' Josiah Gray finishes the season with over 1,100 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns. Shamokin is number 2. The Indians held the lead on Southern Lehigh but lost with just under a minute to play in the game. Shamokin had a 5-point lead until the Spartans scored the winning touchdown. Shamokin finishes 13-1, which matches the most wins since 1991. Zakem Clinton wraps up his career with over 2,700 yards and 38 touchdowns. And our new number 1 is Southern Columbia. The Tigers have won 13 straight games and put themselves 1 win away from returning to the state finals. Southern dominated Steel High, winning 55-26 as quarterback Hayden Hockenbrock threw for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Tigers also ran for 348 yards, while the defense only gave up 241 yards of total offense. Southern Columbia now faces Lansdale Catholic Friday in the state semifinals. Vince Goldschmidt, Fox 56 Sports.